So let's get started. Marketing group conversation today. This is actually my first marketing group conversation other than right when I started. And so sort of loosely followed the agenda, but I'm part of this is just hitting some high points, and then I'll open it up for questions. So let's get going here. So kind of starting with the accomplishments, this is not an exhaustive list of everything the team has done. I just picked a few highlights. I want to just kind of shout out to the marketing team. I think we're beginning to come together really as a team, and have really appreciated their input into the plan that we have and our go forward plans. Our marketing FY20 Q1 OKRs are posted. There's a link here, so they're on the website and in the handbook. And we're kind of getting a jump start on Q1 by starting on them now. And we'll need that jump start because there's some aggressive goals in there. I started here first week in November. So kind of 2 months in, I'm actually really happy to have a plan and to have a team who's getting behind that plan and starting to execute on it already. A couple of highlights I just wanted to talk about that I think moved the needle. One is AWS reInvent, which was an event that we did, was it early December or late November? I can't remember, but it was a big opportunity for us. And I think we're really excited about how so far that's converted, and there's more to come. 2,200 contacts were added to our Salesforce database. About 1.5 million in opportunity value was touched. What I mean by that is, there's opportunity value created when you have an event like this. And so far that's over 900K. But there's also opportunities that are already in flight that you touch at an event like this. And that number is 1.5 million of opportunities that were inclusive of the created, that were in flight and touched. People came by the booth, we had a conversation, we moved that opportunity along, hopefully. And the feedback on this event was that we're seeming to move past the kind of confusion with GitHub, at least with this audience. I still talk to people every day who get us confused, but I think with this audience, we've made some significant progress there. So pretty happy with that. And we're going to make a bigger investment in reInvent even next year, because we think the audience is so good for us. Another accomplishment kind of on the product marketing AR side, which I think is pretty cool. And honestly, this is an accomplishment by the product team and everyone, which is we were named as a 2018 Gartner Peer Insights Customer's Choice. And what's cool about this is customers logging into Gartner's website, posting positive reviews of our technology. And that's really great. So there were 66 reviews and a 4.4 rating. And so we were able to release this news. So super excited about that. And I think there's a lot of good things happening on the AR front. One of the things that I'm excited about for next year with Forrester is some work we're doing on, they're going to do research and then post that research around the benefits of a single application for DevOps. So right in our alley there. Another highlight on the PR side, this was good because I think this shows we've started to develop a little bit better cadence with our PR firm, and we got this out on time, which was good. We did some PR about the Goldman Sachs part of the investment in GitLab, which was important because it really also was kind of a financial services proof point for us. And it talked about how they invested largely because they were happy as a customer. I'm hearing some feedback, so if you could mute, if you're not muted, I appreciate it. And this was published in time for the financial services dinner in New York City and the CIO event. So good work by our PR team and our team internally to pull this all together, as well as our sales team who help get all the approvals that we needed. And then another highlight, which may not, it's a bit of a geeky highlight, but it's important for me, which is LJ's team, Agnes in particular, really helped us establish some baselines for our data. And so that's what this is here, showing conversions and conversion timelines for part of our marketing funnel. This is super important because for us to have the right goals next year, we need to understand how our marketing is converting across the funnel. And so this one was important data that I validated in a couple different ways. And Agnes did a really nice job pulling this together so that we can build the right plan for FY20. And so we're using some of these conversion points in both our goals, as you will see in our OKRs, as well as building our model for next year. Again, many more highlights that I didn't go over for the rest of the team, but then kind of moving into some things that we've recently gotten done around process. This is an important one as well, which is about how do we use GitLab to manage marketing better. And this helps everyone because if we get this right, you can go see what we're doing at all times in a very consistent way. And so we've now published some new guidelines in the handbook with the help of William Chia helping kind of coordinate this, and then Erica and JJ and LJ and Leslie and the whole team pitching in to try to move to these guidelines. And we're in the process of moving to this now, about how we manage our work in GitLab. And it's been cool because we're also starting to think about what are some feature requests that we might have to make this easier in GitLab. So we've engaged with Victor on a couple of things. One point here at the bottom is there's a CMO attention tag. So I'm really trying to get my workflow right. And one of the things I'm going to be looking at every day is the CMO attention tag. So if there's an issue that you want me to watch that you think should be kind of consistently, you can certainly at me if there's an action that I need to take. But if there's something you think I should be paying attention to over time, there's now a tag at the GitLab company level that you can use. So feel free to use that. And then some hiring highlights. Really happy to announce that we've hired a marketing ops director who starts February 4th, and also 2 new marketing ops managers. So I want to give kudos to JJ because she's been holding down the fort and managing a whole lot on her to-do list, and done a really good job with that. So happy to have some new people to help her and to raise our game on the marketing ops and process and enablement level. These people, the way I think about marketing ops is it's process, it's technology, it's enablement of our marketers to do marketing, and data and analytics. And so we'll be building that team to do that. And then we also have a new BDR manager who I can't remember exactly when she's starting, but I'm really excited. She comes highly recommended from a good friend and a senior BDR manager. So these are good, exciting hires for us to continue growing. There's other hires as well, kind of at the individual contributor level, but I want to just kind of give you a few highlights here. Let me stop for a minute and look at the chat and see if there's any questions. Cool. Just a lot of plus ones. All right. And I'll open up for questions at the end. Okay, top marketing concerns. So these are the things that the team and I are worried about right now. And they map to our OKRs. So you'll see sort of those fit together. We have concerns about GitLab.com, and sort of just making it a really powerful inbound machine, because it hasn't been for the last year, to be honest. And so kind of working to fix that. And I still believe inbound is a huge part of what we need to be doing here. And it's not flatlined, but it isn't growing like it needs to be for our business. And I think we're potentially wasting a lot of visitors to our site who could be converting or who could be moving down the funnel path faster. And so a lot of our Q1 OKRs are around fixing some top pages there. There are some technical constraints, which you'll see show up in my asks. There's 301 redirects right now. There's not a good process for us updating those in a timely way. So that affects our search results and our domain authority and other things. There's some build time constraints that we want to deal with. And then one of the biggest ones for me is we aren't optimized around non-branded keywords. So surprise, surprise, you can find GitLab if you search for GitLab, but if you search for continuous integration, it's harder to find us. If you search for, any of the things that we want to be DevOps and DevOps tools and those types of things, it's harder to find us. So we're going to really work on that non-branded keyword optimization. Second thing here is, for me, getting baselines as well as visibility into our metrics in our funnel. And so one of our Q1 OKRs is to ensure we have 100% visibility into that and a better framework for measuring marketing. We kind of established that framework in a set of slides in the marketing metrics call in December. This month, we're trying to make that real with real data. And then ultimately, we want to have as much of that in Looker as possible, so it's easy for everyone to find and it's dynamic. The other two are really around kind of making sure we continue to evolve our XDR organization around and just get real clear and crisp on roles and goals and clarity. And so I'm excited that Michael Hamilton is 100% focused on onboarding and training of our XDRs, and he's awesome at that. And that's a big move for us. And then just making sure for FY20 that we have clarity of territories for SDRs and therefore BDRs as well, so that everybody knows exactly where they're working and they don't have to go searching for, hey, is this account in somebody else's territory and vice versa, that they can get an account and work it as they need to get to a very clear definition of an SAO. Today's definition of an SAO is not as clear as I'd like it to be. And I have this in my help section, but that needs to be a very strong contract between marketing and sales of, hey, I'm handing this off to you as per the guidelines. You're accepting it as per the agreement. And therefore, we can be real confident that we can track, how our SDRs are doing, as well as how those things are being converted into closed won deals. And then the last big concern that I always have is just helping sales hit the marketing source pipeline that they need to hit the number. So if you look at our metrics in our OKRs, which are super aggressive, in particular the MQL number, this is all about trying to create enough top of funnel, trying to create enough SAOs to hit our Q2 goals for sales. I mean, it's not like we're giving up on Q1, but the point here is that marketing happens roughly a quarter before sales happens. And so we've set our objectives and goals to make sure that we are in a position to win at the start of Q2. And then over the course of time, obviously, for Q2, our goals will be to be in the right position at the start of Q3. And so these numbers are pretty big. The high water mark of MQLs that we've hit in a quarter over the last year was 10,000. So, and we didn't get there fully even in Q4. So this is a big number, but it's something that we have to shoot for to try to get on track. And I think shooting for numbers like this helps us with the right behaviors and focus on the right metrics to improve the organization overall. The other ones we're working on are these MQL accepted rate and MQL qualified rate, which you see in our OKRs. And those relate right back to kind of Agnes's benchmarks that she talked about on that slide previously. So kind of finishing up with what we need help on, and then I'll open it up for discussion or questions. This SAO definition revision, which I think will be a minimal revision, but it'll just add a few, constraints to it. We just need an agreement from sales that this is the contract between XDRs and sales. When something gets handed over, there's a firm handshake there and it's accepted. So That's some work that we need to do with McBride's team to make sure that that definition is solidified. With the infrastructure team, there are some issues around this, but we really need a sustainable 301 redirect solution. Right now, there are over 100 JavaScript redirects in place that we put in place as a Band-Aid, but those are suboptimal for both the user and for Google. And so we've got to make some progress on this. And so I want to work with the infrastructure team to figure out how we get that prioritized. Not sure exactly, Sid added something here. Thank you, Sid, but not sure exactly who we need help from on this yet. But Sid and I talked this week about separating the handbook repository from the marketing website so that we can have some improvement in kind of publish times and governance. And yeah, Sid put some important points in here that we don't intend to change the domain or URLs at all. And so we need to figure out the best way to do this. So we'll be opening. There are some issues related to this that we're going to try to pull together and make one issue that we can work on together. So again, not sure who we work with on this, but making sure that we can accomplish this. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's it. So let me stop sharing here and open it up for questions. Let's look at the chat first. Okay, so this was a good question that I see from Sid's latest investor update. We missed the SCLAW target again. Are we going to move the targets to make it achievable or adjust the activities? The answer to that is a little bit of a both. So the SCLAW target is a target that needs to be revised. And so based on how we really performed in 2018. However, we also overperformed on net retention. And so what we don't want to do is change the target in a way that impacts our net new customer acquisition, which is a super important thing for us to continue to do. So, while we really want, our net retention to remain high, and that's great for our business overall and our IACV overall, which essentially means, last year, if we acquired a customer, the net, we retain them at an additional 100%. So they doubled their business with us. That's great. We want to continue that. However, from a marketing perspective, we're focused largely on new customer acquisition. And so, yes, we need to change that SCLAW target number to something a little bit different. And we're going to focus on SAOs. But it's not going to go down dramatically because we need to up our new customer acquisition and our marketing effectiveness. So I hope that answers the question. Let's see. SCLAWs, yep. Now that I've been here for a few months, somebody asked, why did we miss the SCLAW goal and what are we doing to do better in 2019? Well, the OKRs are the things we're doing to do better. So you can kind of see what we're doing. The SCLAW goal, was missed for probably a variety of reasons. I think our inbound honestly isn't growing as fast as it needs to. And that's the easiest way to hit our SAO goals is to improve our inbound. And then on the outbound, I think there are things we can do to make our teams more effective and ramp faster. And that's what we're doing with Hamilton's role for our SDRs. So there's a number of reasons. I think the things that I'm intending to fix to make that goal go up are reflected in our OKRs, to be honest, because that's the reason we're doing those things. For brand awareness, do we have a budget to sponsor mailing lists or other technical events? What's the best way to make a request for this? We could potentially find budget for that. We need to hit a pipe to spend ratio for our marketing. So it would be something where we'd really have to look at what the effectiveness of those things are. And the people to talk to for that are Leslie, probably, and LJ. So Leslie, if it's a sort of a field expense, or LJ, if it's some sort of digital, sponsorship. So those are the two people to start with at this point. I hear Atlassian advertise on my local NPR station. Why don't we do this? Good question. It's probably expensive, and they're a 10 times bigger company than we are at this point. But these are things that we need to be looking at in general. So, to me, if we can prove that there's going to be a 5-to-1 pipe to spend on something like an NPR ad, then I'm game to try it. But probably isn't going to fit into what we're doing in 2019. To be fully honest with you, I think there's better ways to spend our money right now. You mentioned we need to fix the inbound funnel. Do you see the need for pushing up the top of funnel in addition to the middle of the funnel? Yes. So top of funnel is the work that Erica's team does on content. And we're also looking for a director of corporate marketing, because PR is a huge driver for top of funnel and getting news out and making sure that we're in articles across both technical and business press to bring people in. So yes, in terms of spending money to do brand top of funnel advertising, we will do some of that, but we have a community and we have pretty good social media presence that can do that in a more effective fashion right now. So, the most of the money that we spend from a program perspective will be around demand generation. And so that will be, doing field events and doing things that bring people in who are a little bit closer to ready to want to talk to us. Okay. Any other questions? We said we have probably 3 minutes left. We could go maybe till the end of the hour or the bottom of the hour if we want, but any other questions? Somebody said, love your fixer-upper hat. Yes, I've visited Magnolia, the silos. It's Waco's, I wouldn't say Waco. Waco was not a cool place until fixer-upper, but now it is. What has been my biggest surprise in the past 2 months since joining? That's a good question. I think learning how to manage my time and what I pay attention to in a remote company is a challenge that it's taken me a couple of months to figure out. I'm just now getting my GitLab game to where I feel like I'm managing that better. So my to-do list in GitLab, working through issues, my organization there. So I'm feeling better about that. So no huge surprises, I would say, but just really working and understanding how GitLab really works in an asynchronous fashion and using GitLab to do that has been something that's taken me more time to get my head around than I thought. Okay, any other questions? Great. Well, see many of you on the company call here in a few minutes. Thanks for your time.